As you know, yesterday night we broke down the jerk tank, or the timeout tank, to make room for Chinese whales, catfish, that had to be taken out of the 1800 gallon for bad behavior, predatory, biting of tank maze that he cannot swallow. Yeah, he's ashamed of himself, hiding behind the rocks now. Maybe not so much. He was sulking yesterday night. Today he was looking much better. Alright, I just wanted to show you where everybody went, give you an update on what I did with everybody that lived here for like 6 years, some of them less. The oldest inhabitants spent 6 years in here. Alright, so who went where? I don't think anybody has gone into these tanks. This one is still empty. The cichlid grow out. His story is coming up next. I don't think anybody has gone in here. Alright, I've been doing so much I'm starting to forget who I put where. Alright, yes, the upside down Asian catfish and the synodontis African upside down catfish went into this tank. Of course, the Asian redtail didn't like it so much when they piled up into his cave. So there was some serious bickering going around. So the upside down Asian is right there at the end of this, I mean on the back wall. You can see it through this hidey hole. The synodontis hybrid is here, and the 4 eupterus are also run here. This is the deformed eupterus with deformed tail. This, I think, was the most dominant eupterus. He was fighting a lot with the Asian redtail. Of course, Asian redtail won. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 eupterus and 1 hybrid synodontis. Plus the Asian upside down went in here. That was yesterday night, so all the wounds and battle scars are fresh. I hope the healing will begin soon. His tail is pretty damaged, of the alpha synodontis, but I think it will heal after everybody understood their new hierarchy. The reason why synodontis were in the timeout tank is because of their rasping behavior. When they used to be in the 1800 gallon, they rasped sun catfish, and I think somebody else too, or maybe 2 or 3 kinds of fish they rasped, and I eventually had enough of it. So they spent in the timeout tank, I'm gonna say, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Yep, here comes the red tail, showing everybody he's the boss. Get out of my way. Alright, so that's number 1. Number 2, the banded leporinus. The 3 remaining ones that have been fin nippers in the 4500 gallon, long time ago, I don't know, like 5-6 years ago. I put them in the timeout. I always felt bad for them. They needed a lot more space to swim around. So the 3 of the remaining 5 went in here. We lost 2 over the years for no good reason. We used to have 5, now we have 3. And they've been stretching their fins and in the 1800 gallon. Again, they've been here for a full day, 24 hours. Look good, just a little tatter in the tails, but they had tatter even in the jerk tank, so this is nothing new, perhaps, so not much is new. They were fighting real hard when they were in the net. They really didn't want to come out, but they were easy to catch because they kind of stare at your net and slowly back away, or so they're easy to catch. But once in the net, they fight, especially in the air, they fight hard. These are all rescued leporinus. Alright, and then terrorist, the purple label, the female mystus, the lost African cichlid, female blue peacock, and the zebra tilapia. They all went into this tank, which, by the way, reminds me, let me feed them so you can see them better. Tank or jerk tank. It used to hold just tilapia in mine cichlids, and a few hoplock cats that I transferred in there because they're not jerks. So in here went, as I said, the Midas, the zebra tilapia. Here is the terrorist, the purple label. And also a bunch of, pretty much 70 out of 73 Vieja hybrids that I was growing out for sale, but nobody was buying. So very aggressive ones. They destroyed a lot of tank mates. So that is truly now a all aggressive tank. There's the Midas, female Midas cichlid. Blue tilapia, Nile tilapia, maybe even hybrids, or it's hard to tell them apart. It looks like a Nile tilapia. That's a blue. This is a 300-gallon tank. It's deceiving. It's a lot. It's 4 foot wide and 5 foot long, and 2 foot deep, that I glued out of the two 120-gallon tanks, if you remember. It's a good sizable tank. There's a lot more room for the jerks here too, even though there's a ton of fish in there. But the water change in this tank is 100% every 2 hours. Yes, 100% every 2 hours. You have not misheard me. This is the last tank before the water goes back into the wild, into the ground. So every water from all the tanks drains right here and then goes out. So this tank receives 10,000 gallons a day of hand-me-down water change flow. Alright, so there's the zebra tilapia saying hello. It's kind of misshapen and the runty guy because it spent like 3 years before I caught him out of the sump. It came from those Boudicca that I had 5 of them that I had to kill on the government orders. So they were spawning, and this is one of them that survived in the sump. So it wasn't receiving much food or much light in the first few years of its life. So it's pretty small and the tail is kind of misshapen. But the temperament is all the same. Looks like a blue tilapia. It's a Nile. Alright, so the new jerks are exploring their new tank, getting used to each other. Hopefully learning to coexist. So far so good. I haven't seen any major damage or any fights or any casualties. They have been here. The fish rehomed from the old jerk tank for the whole day, and the Vieja cichlid has been here for I want to say 3 or 4 days now. Okay, so this is the opposite of the 25,000 gallons tank next to the hospital and quarantine. That's where this 300 gallons sits at. It was interesting that yesterday the leporinus were schooling or shoveling together, staying very close to each other. Today they got bolder and split up, as I can see. But yesterday they really were comforting each other, leading the comfort of each other, staying close. These two are staying rather close. That other one is on the outskirts for some reason. Alright, so that's the jerk tank news. Pretty major news after 6 years of stability and expected behavior from them. They were getting along okay. I put that new center block in there for the synodontis, but they don't. No fish like it when it's new, so it's going to take some time for the chemicals to etch out. It doesn't affect the water though. There's 2,000 gallons of water in here, but I noticed that fish don't really populate it or inhabit it until after some time. All right. As I said, I'm gonna address the cichlid grow out tank that has been taken apart, and I'm gonna use it for a completely different purpose in the tomorrow video or in a couple of days, but very soon.